Far, far south to the lands of Gondwa, an entire ecosystem effortlessly holds its own. Towering pillars formed by centuries point up towards the heavens, with life of all shapes and sizes calling these pillars home. There is a place for everyone on this specific island, no matter what kind of life walks its grounds. Like a painting, mesmerizing scenes unfold, like poetry in motion. Generations of species reside here, each of which holds an incredibly important role in this delicate but strong ecosystem. With respect to one another, life has found ways to coexist in ways perhaps unusual to the mainland. For some, the cloak of darkness is like a lure, pulling them out of the shadows and into the moonlight. For others, the warmth of the midday sun is like a gentle hum, a soft voice that asks those to step into her warm embrace. Welcome to the Red Island. Here, the land and the sea form an alliance, a brotherhood like two old friends who never leave each other's side. They thrive of one another. Because of this, the diversity on the Red Island can flourish. This is the Ornithodesmus cluniculus, a genus of small dromaeosaurid dinosaur from the Isle of Wight in England, dating to about 125 million years ago. This female seems to be on the lookout for something as she ventures more inland. Another female carefully steps forward. Ornithodesmus are highly social and thrive in big flocks, also known as colonies. With genuine interest, the two greet each other kindly. Traveling solo, they are both more than happy to have found another of their kind. However, this meeting is not accidental. Soon, many more Ornithodesmus will gather right here, on the cliffs along the shore. Insects. Food. Ornithodesmus are insectivores, meaning they do best on a diet of bugs, butterflies, and other critters scurrying around. with many of their skeletal bones being hollow and therefore light. Think of them as birds. Ornithodesmus has zero trouble propelling into the air to catch these welcome snacks. Within days, more and more of their kind gather on these communal nesting grounds. By what seems to be a bit of bad luck, a Vectoraptor greenie finds itself within the growing colony. If given the chance, a pack of Vectoraptor might take opportunity to hunt Ornithodesmus. Understandably, the colony immediately acts hostile, chasing off the lone raptor. With the passing of days, the colony grows. Females and males display the most amazing feather colorings, patterns and differences. Slowly but surely, the Ornithodesmus settle on the rocks and pillars that have been used as their home for many, many generations. With the wet season slowly coming closer and resources being plentiful, courtship is right around the corner. The males size each other up, trying to estimate size and experience. By lifting their heads and standing tall, males try to intimidate each other. Confrontations rarely get physical, and when they do, they rarely turn lethal. Males need to be on the lookout constantly to make sure their preferred spot on the cliff won't be taken by others. As the evening slowly sets in, the colony rests on the warm rocks. Resting makes up a big part of their day, finding comfort and security amongst each other as their eyes fall closed. A few members stay awake to keep an eye out for anything worth noticing. But for now, everything seems calm and uneventful. In fact, now might be the perfect moment to snack on the nearby insects that have been fluttering around. The heat of the midday sun bakes the earth into a solid crust. Foliage adapted to these temperatures softly dance on the rolling gusts of winds that every now and then pass by. Despite the blistering heat and zero signs of the promised wet season, the Ornithodesmus colony is energetic and well awake. As if the heat isn't even there, the males take position, claiming the best of the best spots upon the rocks and pillars. Courtship begins. With all males having claimed a patch of rock, it is time to sing their songs and perform their carefully thought-of dances. By doing so, they hope to secure themselves a mate. The bright daylight helps display their beautiful colors, their feathers molted specifically for this exact moment. Reds, greens, and blues. Who's your favorite? Heavily outnumbered, the females take their sweet, sweet time gazing upon the wonderful performances. They know all too well that these males will dance their hearts out for them. Picky as they are, the females go in for closer inspection. This vibrant male piques the female's interest. She's all about those details, those swift moves and agile jumps, his luscious feathers dancing in the wind. Will he make the cut? Apparently not. She's already switched sides, now showing interest in his next-door neighbour, Mr. Blue. And to be fair, with this much choice to choose from, it makes sense that the females are being as picky as they are. After all, why not? Another female jumps into the shot, taking a giant leap straight towards the rejected male, whilst the first female keeps her eyes peeled on the blue one. The beautiful yellow-tinted male wastes zero time pouring his heart out once more. But don't forget, Mr. Yellow and Mr. Blue aren't the only males doing their best. Courtship can go on for hours, especially when the balance between females and males is off. With so many possible partners to choose from, the choice can be hard. After all, the female Ornithodesmus are looking at the fathers of their unborn chicks. They better bring the best DNA possible. With the remains of daylight slowly slipping away and off into the sunset, a sense of tranquility can be felt throughout the colony. All those hours spent courting in the blistering sun are finally about to pay off. Concavinator corcavatus, a semi-aquatic carnivore. He seeks out the canyon as a passage towards the center of Red Island, unaware of the Ornithodesmus colony lurking from above. The concavinator isn't out for blood. He merely wants to pass through and continue his travels. The colony, however, isn't too sure about his motive. They sound the alarm. With the first nests being built, the Ornithodesmus are now more vigilant and tense than ever. Together, they form an impressive front of flapping wings, loud calls and scratching claws scraping on the weathered rocks. A few weeks have passed by. Apart from a few unwelcome bypassers, the colony has had very little disturbance altogether. With a few days of rain here and there, the wet season, how minimal as it may be, slowly rolled in. This very morning, nests can be spotted all along the cliffsides, with eager parents incubating their valuable eggs. The warmth coming off of the rocks and cliffs holds a welcoming aura. Nests are carefully placed to make sure enough sunlight cloaks the eggs, should they be temporarily left alone when parents go out searching for food. The first clutch of eggs just hatched, with two tiny little Ornithodesmus siblings squeaking about. Still wet, the chicks take their first looks into this foreign world. Those without partner, or those simply too young for eggs and such things, are seen moving on the outskirts of the colony, on the lookout to make sure the parents can focus fully on their offspring. Neophenata celerii, top predator on the Red Island. She's drawn to the colony, following the loud squeals from miles and miles away. She's a female and possibly carrying eggs. For her, every sound might just be a dinner bell. There will be no dinner served here. She's been spotted by a scout. Still, she seems curious. Interested, she moves forward, completely setting off the colony. In what seems to be an act of boldness, the female Neophenata displays her sheer size. The colony, however, doesn't care. They just want her out. Later that evening, the colony rests again. In these moments of tranquility, members are seen preening their feathers, caring for their nests and interacting. With the sky slowly turning to pastel pinks and purples, the scene truly looks like a painting. With the cooler evening breeze caressing the cliffs, the Ornithodesmus enjoy the final rays of light before the cloak of darkness arrives. A lone Ornithodesmus scouts ahead. Come night, small groups move inland in search of food, but they are not the only ones active beneath the stars. Vectoraptor, two of them. Bigger and stronger, these two pose a serious threat to the lone Ornithodesmus. Unfortunately, the hunters now know that there are vulnerable babies quietly hiding within the cracks of the rocks. They will be back. An afternoon sun, accompanied by a soft breeze carrying the scent of possible rain, greets this smaller flock of Ornithodesmus, and they have found a prized possession, a fallen rotten tree. These small dromaeosaurs have incredible sharp hearing, and they've heard insects snack away on the inside of this tree. By tilting their heads left to right, these Ornithodesmus can pinpoint exactly where to slash their powerful claws into the rotten bark. And when that resource is empty, the flock moves on, sometimes covering several kilometers in search of food. Another butterfly will do. A few hours have passed by. On their search for food, the group stumbles upon what seems to be some sort of oasis. Plenty of food, fresh water, and something else. A Deinonychus armatus is resting peacefully in the afternoon sun, completely careless to what's happening around it, or perhaps too deep asleep to even notice. Noticeably, the Ornithodesmus are unusually silent. One of the males seems too curious to ignore it and moves in to take a closer look. Later that evening, restlessness echoes through the colony. A thin layer of mist sets for an eerie feel, as in the distance, heavy thumping closes in. It is the same female that has visited the colony weeks ago. She's been lingering around on and off, simply observing. Now she is hoping for easy pickings as the first chicks venture out of the nest. A slip or a fall is easily made on the tricky rocks. That was a very, very close call. The female Ornithodesmus escaped death with fractured bones and a new life lesson. Though the hours have since passed, the heavy feeling of being watched has not. A hunting party sets out, leaving a good amount of chicks alone with only a few adults. From the shadows, skilled hunters move silently amongst the shrubbery. Elusive as they are, a pair of Vectoraptor creep closer towards the unsuspecting colony. They have waited patiently, possibly for hours, until eventually, part of the colony would set out in search of food. They too have hungry mouths to feed, and an insect or two won't do. The Vectoraptor bide their time. To succeed in their hunt, they will have to try and strike at the most opportune moment. This is a big loss for the colony. However, for the Vectoraptor, this is reassurance that their chicks will feast and flourish. From above, parents and family of the fallen chick mourn. Life and loss mirror each other nearly every day. A stark reminder of how delicate life truly is. The ecosystem on the Red Island can be brutal. However, balance simply means that sometimes the sun will set for some forever, and others may live to see her rise for yet another day. Remember, nothing ever goes to waste. For the colony, the months that followed were good. The resilience of these small inhabitants is simply admirable. Next year, these Ornithodesmus will find each other again. The courtship, the nesting, everything will repeat itself once more. The sun will once again warm the rocks and cliffs on which they nest, and the night will once again bring its challenges. However, together they will see the next generation follow in their footsteps, to see the sun rise yet another day.